Hey guys, welcome to this episode of, I'm not sure what I'm going to call this because it's not really Bewitching the Cards, which I have been doing. This is not tarot related. Well, it's kind of tarot related, but I wanted to introduce the stones that I use. These are the stones that I always have on hand when I'm doing a reading, and they're very special to me. They're all very meaningful to me. And for different reasons. I kind of wanted to show you what those are. So, first of all, this is my Rutilated Quartz. And I don't know if you can see. It's not really focusing, is it? There we go. It's got just filled with rutile needles. I love Rutilated Quartz so much. It is one of my favorite stones. This was given to me by someone very, very important who has gone now. This was actually made by him. I'm sorry, the stone was not made by him, but it was rounded and polished by him. This is an incredibly important piece to me. And to me, rutile is about clear communication, okay? So it's about pathways, okay? As these rutile needles are clear, it's kind of about following those pathways, making connections. It's a very communicative stone, okay? It's also, to me, about creativity. And a lot of times when reading tarot, you need some creativity. You need to really make those leaps from A to B. You know, you need to kind of see the connections in the cards. And it's unfocusing again. You need to find those connections, connect those lines, connect the dots, and there we go. So yeah, so this stone is to me about connecting those dots, A to B. If you pull a card, if it's, you know, in line with other cards, you make those connections, okay? And the rutile needles connect A to B. So it's very much about that sort of connection. And I just love this. I mean, it's beautiful. Every time I look at this, I just feel incredibly inspired. Looks like fireworks there. So yeah. So anyways, Rutilated Quartz, very important to me to use in readings. This is just a clear quartz, and I don't know if you can really see it, but there's a nice cleavage plane in here, or, you know, a crack, if you will. And if you tilt it certain ways, there are lots of rainbows. Actually, I think I got one right there. There are rainbows. It's so much brighter in person. Like, you can really see these rainbows. And to me, this is a stone that I've always used for scrying. Because you can really look in here and just see so many things. There are so many little clouds, and actually the glare of the lights is kind of ruining that, but there's a good rainbow. You can see so many clouds and so many little just beautiful things in this particular stone that I have used it very often for scrying. And to me, this stone is about vision. Okay, so it always kind of, you'll always see this when I'm doing readings, because I want that vision to come through. I want to see beyond, and this is actually a very meditative stone for me, so I really get a lot out of using this in readings. Oh wow, that's, yeah, you got it right there. You can kind of see that there's just a whole world inside this stone. I love it. So, and it's just clear quartz. It's just a really nice piece that I happened to pick up at some point. So these stones are actually a little bit more complex, and there are stories behind these. And I'm actually going to go a little bit into my matron and patron deities with these. Okay, this first stone is Aquamarine, and that to me is a stone that connects me to Yamaya. She is the first goddess who came to me. She came to me when I was in my younger 20s. I was actually at the ocean, and I was at the very, edge of the ocean. My feet were in the water. And I was in this brilliant kind of meditative state. And it just occurred to me how connected I was. I was connected with the ocean. I was connected through the water and through the salt and through all the algae in the ocean. I was connected with every living thing in the ocean. And furthermore, I was connected with every person who was connected to the ocean. So, across, I live on the East Coast, and across the ocean, I was connected to people in Europe who were also fishing that same ocean. We were touching the same water, okay? And, furthermore, I was connected to the ocean as like a primordial mother. We all came from single-celled organisms who came from the ocean. And we're all connected by the salt and the water in our blood. And I just felt this amazing sense of connection. And there was this goddess that I had this vision of. And she was this beautiful dark goddess with like cowrie shells, necklaces and bracelets, and a mermaid's tail, and just very much the embodiment of the ocean. And she was very much our mother. She was the mother of all of us, and nurturing but terrifying at the same time. And so that's when Yamaya came to me. And so I used an aquamarine to connect me with Yamaya. And to me, she represents water, and also, in the sense of the tarot, the cups, okay? So she is very much a water goddess, primordial mother, ruler of emotions and, subconscious and things that we don't understand. So I always have this aquamarine with me. So the next two stones, they came to me at the same time, these two goddesses. And it's kind of an interesting story. I'm a creative person. I have always been creative, but I'm also a Capricorn. Okay, so I'm very involved with trying to make a living and trying to make money and trying to be abundant. So I've came upon the story of Lakshmi and Saraswati. Okay, Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth, of abundance, of family, of kind of being able to take care of everything that you need to take care of. Saraswati is the goddess of communication and of the arts, okay, and of the written word and of music. To me, she's a creativity goddess, okay? So I've always kind of had this struggle between, do I want to devote my time to making money, to, having benefits and stock options and that sort of thing, or do I want to spend my time really working with my creativity? Because it is kind of mutually exclusive. You either devote your time towards making a living or towards your creativity. There's not a lot of in between, okay? And so I came upon this story where Lakshmi and Saraswati were in competition for the affections of Vishnu. And Lakshmi ended up marrying Vishnu. But Saraswati kind of held on to the grudge. And so you can never have the benefits or the grace of both of these at the same time. You can either be very wealthy or very creative. And it's kind of like the starving artist syndrome. It's like a really good story that kind of explains the whole starving artist thing, where if you're working hard for abundance and stability, you don't have time to really pursue your creativity. If you're working on your creativity, you're never going to make a lot of money at it. So that always really appealed to me. And these goddesses came to me when I was about 24. 25. And I was in the workplace and I was really struggling because I was really in a very Lakshmi space and wanted to be in a very Saraswati space. And, I've gone back and forth throughout my life. So I've really kind of struggled to balance the influences of these goddesses. So these two are always, around when I'm doing readings. These are two of my matrons. So yeah. So then we come to my mid-30s. I'm not going to go into too much details on this, but I had kind of an adult-oriented podcast. And a lot of people really responded to it, okay? A lot of people, I realized, were in need of sexual healing, okay? And just having someone listen to them and listen to their needs, sexually speaking. A lot of people, who were, in their middle age and were finding that they had given up on their passion. Okay, they were in relationships that were unsatisfying sexually. They were working jobs that were unsatisfactory, that weren't really inspiring their passion. And as a person that was kind of public, in this context, I actually started talking to a lot of them, and I was learning about their lives, and I was learning about what happens to people when they give up on their passion. And I started really responding to the idea of Inanna and her sacred prostitutes. And while I wasn't doing sex work specifically, still I started to understand how sex can heal. And I started to really identify with the idea of sacred prostitution and how much healing is in that and how much people could heal if they were just getting laid. I know that's really kind of very simplistic, but it's very true. So I really became a devotee of Inanna, and I worked with her a lot. I did a lot of meditation. I had some really beautiful visions of her, not just as a goddess of the sacred prostitute, but also as just someone who, she's also very protective and also, warlike, in the sense that she will protect what is hers and she will protect her people. Okay? And I also had some visions that don't really go along with the traditional symbolism of Inanna, of her as an agricultural goddess. So I really kind of love that. So, I don't know. There's a lot of passion in Inanna. There's a lot that I haven't really explored that I still need to explore. So I really love her. And I keep carnelian as a symbol of her, as my matron goddess. And actually, okay, so we've got Yamaya as water here. We've got Lakshmi as earth, okay, or abundance. And so we've got cups and pentacles. We've got this stone, which represents, fluorite always represents creativity to me. And so it's a great stone for Saraswati. So that's a very air energy with her. Inanna, passion, sexuality, war, even protection, very fire energy. So I've also written a novel, and I wasn't looking for another goddess. I, had plenty, but I was writing this novel where my main character, who is essentially me, she's just me with better hair and a cooler circumstance, she became a devotee of Hecate. And as I was writing her kind of ecstatic experiences in trance work working with Hecate, it was kind of in the back of my mind, and I was kind of feeling it too. And I was like, I really don't need another goddess, and I definitely don't need, a very dark, and she's difficult to work with. She's difficult to know. And I wasn't looking for that, but she kind of just showed up for me anyways. And she was like, no, you know what? You need to deal with me. I'm here. And as I was writing this novel, a lot of people in my life were dying. I've had a lot of losses over the last 6 years due to cancer and Alzheimer's and stroke, just surprise stroke, and just various things. And so I have felt like I was surrounded by a lot of death energy. And through that death energy, I've really started working with Hecate quite a lot. So it was kind of accidental. It was very accidental, actually. but she just made herself known, and there was like no denying that she was a part of it, that she was really important to me. And so this is just a beautiful piece of onyx, and it's dedicated to Hecate, and she is someone, you know, I've worked with all these goddesses through various stages of my life. She's really who I'm working with right now. She is a very important force in my life. And so anyways, she's always with me. She's always, in my readings. So anyways, I just wanted to show you the stones that I've been using. You've seen them in my videos, and you'll be seeing them a lot more. Sometimes I kind of pick this one up because, again, it represents vision to me, and I like to play with it. So that's it. So let me know, are there stones that you use in your readings? Are there stones that you carry to represent your matron and patron deities? And actually, I say patron deity, I need to get one for Cernunnos. I've actually been working with Cernunnos a little bit. He kind of meanders in and out of my life as I need him, as the male aspect, as the other. And so I need probably a tiger's eye, I think will represent him really well. So, so let me know. Do you have specific stones that you associate with your matrons or patrons? Do you have specific stones that you always have with you as far as readings go? And that's it. Hope you guys are having a great day, and blessed be. Bye-bye.